YouTube, Tamara Fackrell here, your personal YouTube marriage expert. This video you have got to watch. It's 6 tips for when you have a crisis in your marriage or someone else's. You've got to watch it because you need to be prepared to help your friends and be a marriage ambassador. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about 6 tips for when your marriage goes in crisis, or hopefully it's not your marriage, hopefully it's someone else's. But even so, I want to help you and your friends through crises in marriage. Now, I went to a seminar once, and you won't believe what they told me. They told me that you are always 20 minutes from a divorce. And you're thinking to me, Tamara, how can that be possible? I have an amazing marriage. That's why I'm watching Tamara Fackrell marriage expert videos. Like, I get it. But here's the thing. Satan wants your marriage. He wants to take you down. He wants your kids to not have 2 parents in the house. He wants them to be going back and forth. No, this is the thing. You're 20 minutes from a divorce because you get those seeds, those negative little things, and they start to percolate, and you start to feed them and nourish them, and oh yeah, my husband, he's not that great of a person. You won't believe this law case that's in the books. There was a woman, and she was sure that one day that she was going to divorce her husband. And because of that, do you know what she did? She kept a journal of every negative thing that he ever did in the marriage, and she kept the notebook underneath her mattress. You will not believe what happened. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes, they got divorced. It ends up in the law books because of some evidence issues. But come on, we're not those people. We're the people that we are scanning for all the good stuff. And we're taking those seeds and we are nourishing them and we are making them grow. So you don't want to start planting things that give you negative things about your spouse. That is not wise. Now, let's say that we have a big crisis that occurs. I'm going to give you 6 tips to help work through it. Number 1 is really important. Give time. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever been like irrational for a moment? Just for a moment because something crazy's happened? Well, listen to this. I had a couple that I knew very well, and unfortunately, the man, his business was being sued. If you've never been sued, you don't know that this is just a stressful time in your life. And guess what? It doesn't go away overnight. Litigation sometimes takes 6 months, sometimes they take a year. He was so stressed out, and his wife is like, hey, we got to work on this marriage. Like, you're nothing right now. You're not giving to me. And he said, look, I can't do any more right now. I am to my mark. So if we have to divorce, we have to divorce. They'd been married for nearly 15 years. Look, you can wait 6 months. You can wait a year. Give it time, even when big things happen. I know. I've helped people get through the hardest things, through affairs, through eating disorders, through all sorts of really big things that happen. You're not going to be rash. That's not fair to marriage. That's not fair to kids. That's not fair to yourself. We're not going to be rash. We are going to give time. And when we're giving this time, we're fully committed to the marriage. We are not sitting on the fence and saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay married or not. We're going to give time. We're going to give time. What I like to recommend is every 5 years, 6 months of time. We're going to take time to try to work it out. Because in the moment you're rash, you're not making good decisions. Okay? Give it time. Give it time. Number 2. Now, I'm a divorce attorney, and I have people sitting in separate offices. They're not in the same room. And the attorney and the client are there, and I say, okay. They say, well, this is why I'm divorcing. I'll ask the other person, usually the man, did you guys know that 2/3 of divorces are initiated by females? Come on, women, to get it together. Let's be happy. Let's make it work. Okay, so usually the man, and he's like, why are you getting divorced? Do you know what he says? 3 words. I don't know. How is that possible? How is it that a person doesn't know? why they're getting divorced. It means, you know what, they didn't follow rule number 1. They did not give it time. But rule number 2 is exclamation point. And I'll do another video on this later, but just the short of it, when you are saying to your spouse, hey, I need you to change your behavior. I'm really sick of you being addicted to video games, whatever it is. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. I'm willing to allow you to play video games once a month, and you can do it all night long, and I'll make cookies for you. I'll make brownies. I'll make your Rice Krispie treats. I'll be the coolest wife in the century if you can control it and just do it once a month with your buddies all night. Great. Okay, whatever. So you can say it really softly, like a comma, like, hey, please don't play video games. That's a comma, right? You can say it like a period, like I just did. Hey, don't play video games. Now look, I don't think video games is a good reason to divorce, by the way. But I'm not going to get into serious topics on this video because I'm trying to uplift you. Okay, so you can do it with a period. Hey, don't play video games. Let's do it once a month, once a quarter, whatever you decide. Okay? Now, if the video games is going to cause a divorce, which it isn't, because that's not a good reason, by the way, here's what you do. Come on, write it down. Get a piece of pencil. You know what? Just stop the video. Start over. Write it down. Write this down. Here we go. Exclamation point. Now, an exclamation point means you really mean it. So you say, I'm thinking about divorcing you if you don't stop playing video games all the time. And I am okay with once a month and that's it. I just cannot deal with it. You're playing video games all the time. Guess what? Addictions, they are a big part of why people divorce. Get control of yourself. Drinking, drugs, sexual addictions, pornography, affairs, I count that as addiction. It ruins marriages. Temper tantrums ruin marriages. Let's get ourselves under control. No addictions, no temper tantrums. So you say it with an exclamation point, and then you work on it. You work on it, you help. They do it, you don't expect to change immediately. They mess up a little bit, and you help them, and it's like a funnel. It's a funnel. It's not like an immediate change. That's why you have to give it time. Habit changing takes time. It's a funnel. They're getting better and better and better until they got it. Okay? Exclamation point. You tell them you're going to divorce before you do it. You give them time to cure. Number 3, kind of already talked about, we're not making rash decisions. Okay, number 4, you have got to be extremely cautious who you tell about the crisis, because you might end up healing inside the marriage, and it's a beautiful thing. But guess what? Your best friend, your mom, your sister, everyone else you told, they're not going to heal the same. They're going to hold a grudge. And it makes it difficult for you to want to then repair and reconcile your marriage because you've told a lot of other people. You can tell like maybe that best friend that you know would forgive, or you know what? Go ahead, pick up the phone, get a counselor, and work with them through it. But be very cautious who you tell. Now, people will ask me, should I file divorce? What should I do? The answer is, you can throw the first snowball.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
But guess what? You cannot stop the snowball fight. After the first snowball is thrown, you can't stop the fight. It just gets out of control because when you get to the levels of conflict, which I'll go over in another video, you get other people involved, and there's so many snowballs being thrown by so many people, you can't control the fight. Be careful who you tell. Number 5, of course, stay committed. We're not going to have a time period where you're saying, I'm leaving no matter what. We're having a time period to heal. We're having a time period for that funnel to occur. So stay committed. Tell yourself, I'm staying in this marriage. We're going to work it out. And then you do a whole reevaluation when you get to the end. And then, of course, my favorite, number 6, fight. Fight. Do everything that's possible to make this marriage work. I've seen some amazing people work through some really hard marriages. Now, I get it. They are superheroes. They're amazing. And if you're one of those superheroes, I love you. You are an example to the world. Because when you fight hard, at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you can look your kids in the eyes, you can look God in the eyes and say, God, you know I tried everything possible to save my marriage. It didn't work, or it did work, but you know that I gave it 110%. All right, guys, I want to hear your comments. I want to know what else you want me to talk about. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and guess what? If you click the bell, you'll be notified about my next video that's coming out next week. See you then.